SKOL, baby. How about those Vikings, huh? Man, how a game can change after the half. Boy, I thought my Thanksgiving John Madden game or my Bears-Dolphins rematch, that was even the Super Bowl X finale for me. When a game changes in scope and direction 180 degrees, man, it's just, well, it depends on what side you're on, I guess, as to whether it's a thrill or not. But fittingly enough, the Colts and Vikings were on my radar for a 2023 project. The Colts and Vikings were the photo on the outer cover of the APBA Football game box from, as best we can tell, about 1968 or 1969 all the way through to 1994. That's representing the original 1967 or 68 sets up to the 1993 season set. Now, we haven't confirmed whether it was the 67 or 68 set that the box made its debut with. We know the 66, so far we've seen, has been the red and white box. We definitely have a 93 set with a big master sticker on it in this Colts Vikings box, and it's just a great photo. I haven't identified who took the photo or what game it is from, but, and it really matches the nice little blue there, and remember, you are the coach. But now I wanted to do a project that paid homage to the box. We want to play the box. Colts Vikings seems only fitting and only right, and so what I tend to do, and it's a project that I like to do because it's one of those matchups that just doesn't occur that frequently. So we go to Pro Football Reference and we go to teams, and the great thing you can do is find in the franchise encyclopedia all they had to add matchups. Now we know intuitively that the Vikings, who came into the league in 1961, have not played the Colts all that often. In fact, they've only played 27 times. They played twice in the Vikings' inaugural season in 61, and a pair of close games. Not bad for a fledgling team. 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. Okay. Why? Because they were in the NFL West. Vikings and the Colts right down there, that inaugural 61 season. Wow. So, let's go back to the 27 games, including this one. Now, in my Silver Series, in which I matched up a bunch of squads from the 70s Cowboys and 70s Raiders who should have played each other, all those missed opportunities where they could have had Super Bowl clashes, the seasons where they were in the playoffs, right? The only game that actually had occurred was in this 7-game series, the 74 end-of-season game between the Raiders and Cowboys in Oakland that the Raiders won 27-23. So I played 6 what-if games, with an actual game being the Game 7 deciding contest. And so, you see here, we already have, I think, our definitive, when we buy the 2022 season set from APBA, we've got our definitive Game 7 if it goes to Game 7. But as yet, we'd only picked a few games. 68 Colts versus 69 Vikings. It's not the same season. 73 or 74 Vikings versus the 70 or 77 Colts. I really want to get a pair of good teams, in other words. I don't want to get, with the 70s Cowboys and Raiders, you had a bunch of incidences where they were in the playoffs and, were 1 or 2 steps from the Super Bowl. So looking for maybe some playoff era near misses. If you play the 98 Vikings against the 98 Colts were not that great, but you do have Manning in his rookie year. We're going to try to find 7 great Colts-Vikings matchups. Again, there have only been 27 since the Vikings entered the league in 1961. If you take out the games from the 60s, you've only got 11 contests. So, 2009 Vikings and Colts, let's just check that. Well, we know that the Colts made the Super Bowl, obviously. Lost that one. So with the Vikings, that was, of course, Was that not the big old, let's just go back here really quickly and navigate, was of course the Favre season, was it not? Yep. So the 2009 edition, I think, would be pretty cool. Let's just put that in. Let's just see if you look at the 06. Yeah, see, that's a case where the Vikings didn't have a chance to get to the playoffs. So what about the so 2005 maybe? Yeah, see, that's, you want to get the teams where they're both in the playoffs. So maybe, and they didn't play in the regular season. So they played in the regular season. So again, that kind of eliminates the intrigue there. Although that could be a candidate for the deciding factor game, but really, how do you not want to replay this 2022 game? It's two games really. It's game A and game B, but 2008 they did meet, and that could be a good deciding factor game if a 7-game series went to 7 games. So in other words, you see what I'm trying to say here is that I'm looking for the opportunities where they could have met. Again, 68 Colts, 69 Vikings. Well, they did play there, so really the 60s teams are kind of out of it. So really looking forward. So again, looking at maybe those 70s teams. So 73, 74, 75. That's why I was looking at 76, something like that. So let's take maybe the 76. Colts made the playoffs. Yeah, I'm thinking that one. That's what we should do, because the Vikings were in the Super Bowl. Why was I having such a problem with this? All right, 1976 Colts Vikings would be a great one as well. I think the 68 Colts, 68 Vikings would be a nice one as well. And let's just see, what about 75? Did they play? They didn't play in the regular season there. Of course, the Colts were in the playoffs, and the Vikings. Let's check, get there if I can navigate back. And go to the Bears and grab the Vikings from that. Skipping around PFR, yeah. And of course, that's the Hail Mary. That's coming up. Well, that's a little project, but I won't give that one away just yet. So the 75 Colts Vikings. Oh, this is great. 1975 Colts v Vikings. Well, what about 74 then? Oh, wait, we know the Vikings obviously made the Super Bowl, but how were the Colts that season? Let's go back. 75 Colts. 74 Colts were 2-12. See, that one doesn't really work. And let's just check the rest of the 70s. Yeah, the Colts, now 71 Colts. Did they play? Yes, they did. They played in the regular season. It was a 10-3 game, so that's another possible actual game. What about moving forward here to, 77. 77, that big ghost to the post, yeah? Well, I think you've got another one. Let's go find, let's get to the Lions. Let's check out the 77 Vikings. Were they first? Yeah, okay, and yeah. All right, so I think we got another one. 77 Colts Vikings. Just going to go right up the gut of the 70s. I love it. 1977 Colts v Vikings. Who else? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And, what else? Game 7 would be the 2009 or 2008 or 2022 Colts Vikings, right? Why was I thinking of those other ones? That was strange. In 78, the Vikings, yeah, and they didn't play the Colts. Well, it turns into a Tarkenton-Jones kind of a thing. So let's just check out the Colts of 78. I don't recall how good they were or were not. 5-11, so that's not great. We'll figure out another slot. So here we speed up our footage as I frantically search Pro Football Reference for, first of all, a winning Colts season in which they went to the playoffs, and then checking to make sure they hadn't played the Vikings, and we get over to the Vikings here, got to them through the Buccaneers, of course, back in the good old NFC Central days, the 5-team NFC Central. I really got to get back to my Chicago Bears OFAS, expanded OFAS project. But here we see the Colts made it into the playoffs, a nice 9-6 finish, and it should be a good game against the Vikings, who also made the playoffs that year. Had they proceeded further, could have been a Colts-Vikings Super Bowl. And we're complete. There you go. Just keep searching around good old PFR, and you will come up with Replay Project Gold. So there we're set. So, Homage to the Box 2023, our project. 68 Colts versus 69 Vikings. Kind of slightly outside the mold and spirit of the project, but the rest of these, I should have thought about it. It's going to be the Burt Jones versus Fran Tarkenton, 75, 76, 77. Colts-Vikings, both in the playoffs, both got bounced, could have been in the Super Bowl. 87, same deal. Same with 2009. And then the finale will probably be, I think we're leaning to the 2022 game, just to bring it all the way to the modern era here. All right. Can't wait. Homage to the Box.